Hello and welcome to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Monika Bronsgeest, who is a homeschool mum, and she's also 100% raw fooder, and she runs a raw food group. Welcome to the program, Monika.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you became a raw fooder?
Okay, that's a long story,
yes.
but
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I did I call it a natural progression. I was on a fairly healthy diet before I became vegetarian or vegan. But we didn't eat any lollies, didn't drink fizzy drinks, didn't have junk food. So we just had a cooked food and that sort of diet. And then I started doing health and nutrition classes and found out that meat wasn't particularly good for you. And I'd come home at night and I told my kids, meat's no good for you. So my daughter said, "Oh, great, I don't need to eat meat anymore." So she became vegetarian then and there. And I thought, well, if a little girl can make that sort of a commitment and see the light so easily and quickly, then, maybe I should do that too. So I became vegetarian as well. And then I found out that dairy's no good for you, so then we became vegan. And then this raw food thing just kept getting thrown everywhere. I'd go on the computer and raw food would come up. I would look in magazines, or, well, not really in magazines in those days, but wherever raw food was coming up. And so I thought, let's see what this raw food thing's about. And I thought, I couldn't do that, eat only raw food. And I thought, how stupid is that? And anyway, it still kept getting thrown at me, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I should look at it. And I still thought, no, I can't do this. And but I ended up buying an ebook online and printed it off, and my eldest daughter and I sat down one day and we read this ebook, and we decided then and there to become 100% raw food. Wow,
that's beautiful. And during that, what was that? That was year 2008, was it?
Yes.
2008.
Yes.
And then during that time, were there ever times where you felt tempted by all the advertising or what other people were eating or anything, and how would you deal with it? No,
because for me it was, I changed my whole life doing this, and for me, seeing other food, it wasn't food to me anymore. So no, I wasn't tempted at all.
So it was kind of like a whole lifestyle change.
It was, yeah.
And in what other ways did you change your life?
Well, first of all, transitioning from being normal food to vegetarian, there wasn't many changes, and transitioning then to be vegan, again, not many changes. But when I transitioned to raw food, there was a huge amount of changes. Your body odour changes. Mosquitoes no longer found me attractive anymore, which was wonderful. And intuition, great sense of intuition, it was just amazing. Something I'd never experienced in my life before.
So your whole outlook started to change.
Everything, yeah. And I love, and the energy. I have so much energy, so much life, so much enthusiasm. And I love who I am, who I've become.
Right.
Yeah.
And so have you had obstacles at all along the way?
When we first started, it was a bit hard because I didn't really know how, and I didn't know how to make raw food, and it's like when you change from eating normal food to vegetarian, you've got to learn new recipes. The same thing happened here, you've got to learn new recipes. And at the time, there wasn't an awful lot of recipes out there, but there were recipes out there. And, one day, maybe 3 weeks after we first started, my daughter said, I'm getting a bit bored, Mum. So I went on the internet and found recipes, and that really changed things for us. And then we actually started going to the Melbourne Raw Food Group, and meeting other people that did the raw food thing, sharing food, learning recipes from them, getting ideas from them, and
And did you find that helped?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. It's really great being around other people that have similar ideas.
Right.
And learning their recipes, the way they do things. It was really helpful.
And then you even came to the point where you started to run the raw food group.
Yes. I'm a very sort of passionate person, and I wanted to learn as much as I could and get into every aspect of it. So I eventually took over in, I think it was 2008, I think I took over.
Wow, the same year.
Yeah. The Raw Food Group started in 2007, and we're actually the largest raw food group in the Southern Hemisphere. We've got close to 1,300 people in our group.
Wow.
And we get together, between 1 to 3 times every month.
And how many of the people in the group are actually 100% raw fooders?
It's only a small amount of people that are actually 100% raw. The rest are either high raw, curious, but 100% there's not that many of us.
Right, yeah. Well, it's good anyway. You make, you do. What sort of things do you do? Let the audience know, what sort of things do they run in the raw food group?
We have meetings in people's houses. We go to parks and have picnics. We have demonstrations. We might have demonstration on how to make raw food. We might have a demonstration on how the tools that you use with raw food. One time we had to test the different blenders on the market to see which was the best type of blender. So we had a blend off and put all the same ingredients in each one to find out which was the best one, and then people voted as
beautiful.
to so that was lots of fun.
We'll have to go to a break now, but we'll continue.
Sure.
You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Monika Bronsgeest, who is a 100% raw fooder and also a homeschool mum and runs a raw food group in Melbourne. Welcome to the program. Welcome back to the program, I should say. Can you tell us, have you had any cravings when you became a raw fooder? Did you get any cravings, and how did you deal with them?
Yeah, I did get cravings, but I found other things to substitute for the things that I was craving. Like it might be chocolate that I was craving, so I found carob powder, raw carob powder, and would make things out of that to substitute that craving. So, but I don't see chocolate as food anymore, so I wouldn't actually eat chocolate. I just find other things to fulfill that need. And they say that cravings come from your body crying out for a particular, nutritional reasons why your body's crying out. You might be a little bit lacking in certain minerals and things like that. So it's not actually the food that it's craving some sort of minerals and that's what causes the cravings. Okay. So by improving your diet, adding more high density foods into your diet, that helps with those cravings.
Okay. Yeah. And did you have moments where you were just struggling through the raw food thing and just thought, if I just eat whatever it is, like a cooked food that you used to eat, it'll be all right,
No.
Because you know how life has its own emotional ups and downs.
No, I didn't. Yeah. I didn't. And I haven't ever, had that cooked potato or that whatever. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, really, to have that iron discipline. I
think it might be the German background, I don't know.
Not all Germans are raw vegans, or raw fooders. And what about a bit of your background? Did you grow up in Melbourne or in the country? Or?
Mostly in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I've got a sister, and we had a fairly healthy, so-called healthy lifestyle. We weren't allowed fizzy drinks. chips, lollies.
Yeah.
We never had takeaway food,
Yeah.
but we still had, you know, 3 vegetables and meat type diet.
Yeah, yeah. And with your children, how did you introduce this to your family with your own children?
Again, I brought them up similarly to how I was brought up. I wanted to give my children the best start in life, and I wanted them to be healthy, and I very strongly believe that, you know, thy food is thy medicine. And so, you know, they didn't have lollies, they didn't have the fizzy drinks, they didn't have the cakes, they didn't have the junk food. They still went to the parties and did all of that sort of thing, but they didn't eat the party food.
And how did you overcome that?
I would feed them before we went to the party. We would I would bring some things in my handbag just in case there wasn't anything that they could eat.
Did they fuss about it and say,
no,
well, the others are all eating it, why can't I eat it?
No. It was just the way that they were brought up, so it was never
an issue.
Never an issue. They knew that this is how we eat.
Yeah.
And you know, and my close friends, they knew how we ate, so they would provide a fruit platter or do something like that.
I remember with my daughter, we were doing a lot of raw food with her as well.
Yeah.
At one point, we sort of on and off now, but at one point it was really quite strong. And we went to a party, and all the children were like running around. Everyone was running, and they had all the lollies and all that sort of stuff.
As
they were running around, and all the children were conking out, like on the side that have breaks. Because they honestly didn't stop running. They were like literally going around the table in circles. But my daughter kept running and running.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, raw food, because she was eating quite a healthy diet. You know, off and on we sort of But anyway, how long did you eat 100% raw vegan until it became a habit for you?
Well, because I went raw food overnight, and for me that was, you know, if I commit to something, you know, I made that commitment to this way, there is no turning back for me. It's just, you do it.
Because you say, go.
But, you know, I suppose it probably took a few months before it, you know, really became a habit.
Where you didn't have to think about it anymore.
But it is, you know, it's a whole transition, a whole change of life. You know, you have to really change the way you think, how you do things. So it's. And
you made new friends too, didn't you? That were raw vegans as well.
Yes.
And did you find that helped a lot as well? Like you're on track and you're socialising with people that are actually following the same lifestyle.
Yeah.
And everyone lives far away, so was it hard to sort of get to?
When usually, like the raw food group, we have meetings sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
So, you know, people travel. Some people travel a bit further for this one, but next time it's a bit closer. So, yeah.
In this journey, has this lifestyle that you've done influenced others? Have you felt that it's influenced other people in your life?
Yeah, no, it has. In different relationships that I've had, it's changed their way of thinking. I remember when I met this, I was single at the time, and when I met this guy, and I said to this guy, you know, how healthy are you? And he'd say, oh yeah, I'm really healthy, I do this, that and the other. And then he reversed the question and asked me that question. And by the time I finished telling him about my lifestyle, he said, I'm not really that healthy, am I? And anyway, I mean, I don't put my stuff on anybody else. And I didn't say to him, well, because I'm a raw foodist, you need to become one too. But he made these changes in his life, and it wasn't long after we were going out that he threw out all his junk. And I came over one day, and he'd filled his whole refrigerator full of fruits and vegetables. And he said to me, I've got something to show you. And he opened up his fridge, and it was just full of all good food. And it was just amazing. And when we broke up, he said, you know, I'm so grateful for everything that you've given me. It's just been amazing.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So he's got that for the rest of his life.
That's
now,
right,
you know?
Absolutely. And look, there've been other people along the way that I've influenced and changed. And yeah.
Well, I've noticed that too also in my marriage. When I'm doing it 100% and doing it like for a good long time, I have to at least do it for 3 months or 4 months without breaking it at all. And then my husband, you can see his diet completely changes. He gives up all his meat, dairy and everything and just has fruit and vegetables. And the only cooked food will be rice. But anyway, we have to go to a break.
Oh, okay.
You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Monika, who is a raw fooder and runs a raw food group and is also a homeschool mum. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks.
Monika, can you tell us who was the strongest influence in your life on being a raw fooder, or what was the influence that you had? Was it what particular book, an author, or?
My biggest influence. Well, when it first kept coming at me, I thought, no, I can't do this. And anyway, I was single at the time, and I was looking at a dating site, and I thought, oh, this guy looks nice. And so I thought to myself, and I was reading through his profile, and it turned out that he was a raw foodist. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I didn't think anyone was a raw foodist. And I thought, well, if this guy can do it, maybe I can do it too. So that sort of inspired me to take it a little bit further. And
getting to know him, did you get to know him?
I did. Later, after I became a raw foodist, I did actually get to know him.
Oh, so you just saw his profile and thought,
exactly. And so that inspired me to take that next step. But other than that, I suppose the e-books that I downloaded off the internet helped as well.
Yeah. And what was the first e-book that you read?
It was by a couple that I think are in Queensland called Gingy and Storm.
Gingy and Storm, okay.
Yeah.
And are they raw vegans in Queensland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they had like a series of 12 books. Yes, I couldn't tell you exactly the name of the book because there was a whole series of them. But,
okay. And who were the other books that you read?
At the time, I didn't really know a lot. Yeah. And that was it, really, for me.
So Gingy and Storm were like the beginners for you? Like that was a turning point when you read their book?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of them. Gingy and Storm. Yeah. I have to look them up as well.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's so many more people doing it now.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, good, crazy.
Yeah.
And was there a particular person who helped you, like physically, or in a mentoring kind of way, or some sort of way to stay on track?
No actual person. Yeah. No. Being part of the Melbourne Raw Food Group helped me. Meeting other people, socialising with other people, seeing what they were doing, the recipes swapping recipes with each other, that helped, but no actual person.
Okay, so there wasn't one person.
No.
But you know a few of the people doing it, like Alan and Janet Murray Wakeland.
Yes.
Did you find that by helping others become a raw vegan or raw food or get healthier, that it actually helped you to become better at it?
Don't know that it actually helped me, but it made me feel good, of course, helping other people.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Did you ever you didn't obviously see anyone then to reach goals and set goals and stuff? No. You didn't read books about goal setting?
No.
Because that was another show we did about that.
Yeah.
Did you always believe you could do this? Like, did you have a self-belief that you could do this?
No, I didn't know whether I could do it or couldn't do it. I just did it.
Yeah, and then just each day, took each day as it comes.
Absolutely. And that's how I lead my life. I just take it a day at a time. Like when you initially approached me about doing the show, and that was like way into the future. And, I don't really know about the future. I only know about right now. I don't know about in the future. And, yeah.
That's an interesting thing also, like about what we eat today is how we're going to feel tomorrow.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's sort of like the future.
It's true.
If we could all think about it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
To prevent.
Yeah.
Because it isn't just like some people think people do it for like vanity reasons, they want to look good or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really about your health. Like in the end, we want to live for a healthy life while we're here on earth, don't we?
Yeah, that's right.
So that should be the turning point.
Yep.
Did you do anything to spread the raw food message?
Well, I run the Melbourne Raw Food Group, so that sort of puts it out there.
Yeah.
I share with the people in the group what I do, how I do it, and I like to provide information to the members in the group. But
and also off camera we were talking, you were saying how with your children you didn't like enforce it upon them, but you just tried to lead by example. Just tell us a little bit about that experience with the children.
Well, as I said, my eldest daughter, she went raw with me, but I also have a younger daughter, Emily, and a son, Luke, who, so only my eldest daughter and I went raw. The other two were able to do whatever they liked. So I didn't put my stuff on them. They make their own choices. And anyway, one day Emily went to one of our meetups and we were showing a DVD, and something switched over in her head, and she said to me very, very softly, "Mum, I think I'm going to become a raw foodist, but don't tell anyone just in case it doesn't work out."
Oh, so cute.
And after 3 days she said, "Oh, Mum, I think I can do it."
Oh,
so, and she's been raw ever since. And my son, he has he leads a normal lifestyle, but fairly healthy when you compare it with what other people do. And you know, I do sometimes force him to have a green smoothie, and you know, and when he gets sick, he says to me, you know, "Mum, what can you do to help me?" You know. And
I mean, I guess it's an individual choice that people have to make. Because at one point I was running raw food groups as well as running raw food dinner parties, and people would be saying, "Make me do it. Can you make me do it?" You can't make someone do it. You want to help them, but you can't make them do it.
And look, you know, as well as doing the raw food, I want to be healthy. So I don't drink Melbourne water. I get spring water, or I bring water from the farm with, and I put it all into bottles. And I bring these crates of bottles to Melbourne when I come. And so for my son, it's really easy. Pick up a bottle, and off he goes out the door. And anyway, after a while, a lot of my bottles were disappearing. And so he was really getting into my water. And then he came to me one day and he goes, "God, I hate you, Mum." I said, "Well, what have I done wrong now?" You know. And he said, "Your bloody water. I can't drink Melbourne water anymore," you know.
We have to finish the program now, but would you like to come again next week?
I'd love that. That'd be great.
You've been watching Nat Chat. I hope you enjoyed the program. We'll be back again next week.